Hey, another quick video here. So have you guys ever had an interview and at the end you think it's going really, really great, but then they ask you, hey, do you have any questions for me? And you freeze up. Or you don't have any questions. You say, no, no, all my questions were answered in the rest of the interview. You might not know it, but that might be one of the ways why you're not getting a job offer. That's actually one of the most important questions to answer at the end. Is just like in the beginning, it's like, tell me about yourself, starting out right. In the end, the do you have any questions for me question is actually very, very important because it's actually testing your engagement into the process. It's taking a look and saying, does this person actually interested in this role, interested in the company? What homework have they done on this role? Or is it just like any job is going to do? If you're coming in with the attitude that any job is going to do, you're not going to get that job. So what you want to do is you want to come up with a couple questions. I typically ask 2 or 3 at the end that really shows my research into the role. If you're really interested in the role, you should have questions. So some of the roles could be, how will this role be working with you, and what advice do you have for someone jumping into this role? Or what are some of your goals for this role? Those are 2 really good questions I like to use. And I always at the end, I found like, what are the next steps to be a good question as well. Other questions that you could ask would be like, hey, I saw in the job description that you're using X, Y, and Z technologies. Are you guys trying to ramp up to those technologies, or what's the state of the project going to be like in 6 months? Really dive deep in and figure out what clues you can get from the interview, from the job description, and see what questions you can ask. But always be thinking about a couple questions that you have in your back pocket at the end. That way you can close the interview great. Because it's like sales. You're going to start strong, you want to end strong, and you want to leave them with a solid impression. Because typically when you finish the interview, they're either going to go to another meeting and then later go type in their notes in the applicant tracking system and it says, yeah, I like this candidate, no, I didn't like this candidate. Or they're going to go right back in and put in their notes. And so you want to leave it on a good note, a really strong note that really impresses them. Not a lot of candidates do this, and so if you do it, you will stand out from the pack and you can improve your chances of getting a job. Thanks.